Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Eastern Washington University Recreation Center for this battle between the Eastern Washington Eagles and the visiting University of Oregon Ducks. My name is Tyler Pisani, joined as always by Gary Allen. And Gary, what can we expect tonight between these two teams in this PAC8 matchup?
Well, it'll be interesting. I haven't seen Oregon for a couple of years, but for 3 years before that, they were extremely fast and physical. So I'm expecting Eastern to continue what they've been doing against them and see how it falls out. Just as I said that, Smith got decked, and it looked like Fowler went in. Or no, that was Flood that went in and leveled an Oregon player. So it looks like right now, Tyler, they're going to pick up the body checking right away. We must be having some technical difficulties because I don't have Tyler. So
there we go. How's that, Gary? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you right now.
Look at that.
I know you're playing some sick joke on me. It's like, what?
It's that pesky mute button. But I was just saying that Oregon coming into this game undefeated on the season so far, a 5-0 record against some pretty impressive teams that we've seen. A chance here for Reed Kaiser, the leading scorer of Eastern Washington, as he took that one down into the corner. But Oregon, I believe they are 3-0 in PAC8 conference play, 2 wins over the University of California, and a win yesterday over the Washington State Cougars on this very same sheet of ice. Oregon in town playing 4 games in 4 days. Yesterday against WSU, back-to-back games against Eastern, and then rounding out the weekend with one more game against the Cougars on Sunday. But here's Kaiser again on the left side, and they're going to say that he came across that line a little bit early, so that'll be an offside call.
Do you know what the score was yesterday between the Cougars and the Ducks by chance, Tyler?
I believe it was 8-1 or 8-2. The Ducks had their way with the goaltender Kane Paxton, who we've been pretty impressed with so far this season for Washington State, but Oregon able to solve that puzzle pretty handily last night. So Eastern definitely has their hands full in this game today.
Well, for the brief minutes, the 2 minutes have been going on, it looks like the Ducks are playing the same way they did a few years back. They like to go fast. They like to use their body. If Eastern does what they've been doing the last 5 games, they're going to match the speed of Oregon, so it'll be quite interesting to see how the Ducks adjust to that, because Eastern's never matched their speed before. This year they will.
Well, in Eastern coming into this game 4-5 on the season, on a pretty decent win streak here for Eastern Washington. 2-1 in conference play so far this season. So this will be a pivotal series here in the PAC8 North for these two teams, really battling for that chance to go to Lake Tahoe later on this season.
Do both of these games count for the standings or just one?
I believe both of these games count.
Then it's crucial for Eastern right now because this will really set them apart. And I really like the speed of Eastern. So if they keep that up, they're going to match the Ducks pretty well on that way. Then it's going to go to the body. And it looked like with a couple new players, Eastern's definitely picking up that aspect of the game also.
Well, and I was incorrect there. Eastern Washington, with that win over Washington State last weekend, actually moved to 500, 5-5 on the season. So having played twice as many games as the Ducks, they have exactly as many wins. So this will be, like we said, a pretty important contest for the weekend. And you're right, Eastern Washington has some speed this year, which isn't necessarily something they've had in the past. And it'll be great to see how the Ducks adjust to that moving forward.
Well, I think Kaiser's going to go in the box for EWU. I think he's going to get for an elbow or a high stick, but the Ducks pull their goaltender. So right now they're on the man advantage.
Was that the that big hit right in front of us there?
That was it.
Those ones will get you in trouble at this league. It looks like an interference there, but at this level, when the officials see a big hit, sometimes that's enough for them to put their arms in the air.
Down here. Number 4.
Really, if anything, Kaiser got his elbow up a bit high. I didn't see where he interfered with the player coming across in the neutral zone. So that was an interesting call.
Penalty on number 4. Reed Kaiser for interference.
So there's Kaiser, 2 minutes for interference.
But this is a great opportunity for Eastern to send a message to Oregon that they're going to play with them tonight.
Well, special teams, again, at this level, so very important. There's been times this year when Eastern's lost games just by the special teams goals that they've given up, but there's been times where they've been able to hold teams scoreless on the special teams, and that's been the difference maker. You're right, this is a chance for them against a club that is very well recognized around the country for their talent, for Eastern to kind of put a stop to the momentum and really build something for themselves.
Well, I think one big difference this year that I've seen in past teams from Eastern, they got a pretty set penalty kill squad, and they're really talented out there. They work well together, and I don't know if Oregon's going to be able to deal with them like they did in the past.
Well, Oregon with it now. Holding the puck is Voiles. This one back out into the corner, back up top in front of the Eastern Washington bench. Now back towards the Zamboni door. That's going to rim around. Back behind the net, pass out front. And that's going to roll itself all the way down the ice and give Oregon a chance to set up from behind their own net.
See, Smith and Best play extremely well together on the penalty kill. They know exactly where they want each other to be, and they line up constantly on their very strong force.
And in net for Eastern Washington tonight, again, is Spencer Burton. Max Flynn still on the mend from that lower body injury that he suffered earlier this year. In net for the Ducks, number 35, Roddy Peterson. So we may see a battle of the netminders here again in this building, Gary.
Well, Burton was incredible last week when I was watching the game from home because I was ill. If it wasn't for the WSU goaltender, that would have been a blowout. So Spencer's been playing extremely well. It'll be nice to get Flynn back, but right now, Burton's on top of his game. But again, nice mix-up on the penalty kill. They had Thompson and Fowler on the up front. Oh, there's a big shot. There's a big chance for Oregon right there. The puck was just sitting there in front of the Eastern's net.
And a big break there for the Eagles as somehow that puck didn't end up in the back of the net. Burton, as we were talking about him, a little bit sucked out of the crease there, but a big stop here for Eastern Washington as they'll have just a moment to reset themselves as a player loses his edge there, trying to get all set up for the face-off.
I think that's Eric Cheney that decided to check his skates right there, maybe.
You got to check him at some point. Best time to do it's during a dead puck, I'd say.
That's right. Good call there.
I think coming into this game, I expect Reed Kaiser to make some noise. He currently sits 6th in the nation in total points with 21 points on the season, 10 goals, 11 assists. Just 3 points out of third place. It's currently held by Osman Cholek from Weber State University. I know the Eagles always like to outperform Weber State, a Big Sky Conference opponent.
It's elbow.
And it looks like we've got a penalty here for the Ducks now. So Eastern Washington going to get a chance to go on the power play. Face-off coming to the glove side of the netminder for the Ducks. And this puck sent all the way back down the ice.
But see right there, some of that speed I was talking about Oregon had. I'm trying to pick up that player's number, but he is quick, real quick.
Eastern Washington with the puck back in their own end, trying to get it out as they push forward. Sitting in the box is Pupkov. He's going to have a 2-minute timeout here as the the Ducks heading the other direction. Puck on his stick and shut down was Voiles by the Ducks, or by Burton, for the Ducks.
The kid I was talking about from Oregon is Henry Bradford, and I tell you right now, the Eaton's coaches are going to pick him up because that kid is extremely fast. He took out of the neutral zone and just as a rocket, and we were lucky that Eastern caught up to him. The kid is quick.
Face-off coming now on the far side. Out into the neutral zone. Eastern Washington still with the man advantage, but still not able to get the puck into the Oregon zone on this power play other than the initial face-off. And as I say that, coming straight through the center of the zone is Wyatt Matthews. He's going to take it right to the goal mouth, and Roddy Peterson's going to hold on to that with just over 12 minutes to play. Eastern Washington, another chance on the attack in the Oregon zone.
But I really like what I'm seeing out of Eastern. They're continuing their style of play of aggressive forechecking and a lot of offensive pressure, and that's good to see. They're using their speed, and that's going to help them against the Ducks.
This puck again back down towards Spencer Burton in his own net. As the Eagles look to head the other direction now. Nice easy pass off there by Flood, intercepted by Fortney. Shot taken from the center of the zone by Matthews. He's just going to dump that one out into the corner. And this one back to Burton with just over 20 seconds remaining on the power play.
Oh, nice stop by Burton. Nice stop by Burton. It looked like Charlie Mayer was the one that got on top of him and had a nice open shot. Burton stood his ground and did a really nice job of covering up the hole.
A tie-up now behind the Oregon Ducks net. Eastern still trying to get some offensive production going. The Ducks controlling the tempo of this game so far. Only outshooting the Eagles 5-1 so far, about halfway through this first period. That shot out front and smothered by Burton. Point-blank range there by Jack Garrity.
Garrity did a nice job of going in the far corner, and one of his Duck players saw it, and it was a no-look pass, bam, bam, and Burton was on top of his game. So far, he's having a strong game again.
Another shot from just outside of the face-off circle. That time it was Gagin, and then Burton pushed almost all the way to the back wall inside of his own net there.
I do like what I'm seeing with Eastern right now. They haven't been shaken up by the speed of Oregon, and you could see right off the bat, especially in the neutral zone, Oregon was trying to shoot and get a off-wing pass on somebody, and Eastern was matching their speed really well, and that's going to bode well throughout this game because that's one thing Oregon always relied on is their speed in the past.
Well, and I think that's true not just against Eastern Washington, but they were consistently one of the fastest teams in the PAC8 overall, and I think that's what contributed to a lot of their success over the last couple of years. That shot from the blue line off of the glass. Out front looking for the puck, but nobody home, and now this one still in the Oregon zone, but along the far wall, back out into the center now. Easy touch pass back, and then across the zone, the Ducks content with holding on to it in their own end and looking for a hole as they move forward.
I do like what I'm seeing out of Eastern too. When they're in the attacking zone, they're playing a 2-1-2, which shifts over to a 3-2 zone real quickly, and it's giving Oregon fits on trying to get the puck out of their zone or even to the neutral zone. It's working really well for Eastern.
Eastern not able to maintain that possession in the Oregon zone, but able to cause the Ducks enough trouble that they can't get it out of their end either.
Right. I remember 2 years ago when we were down in Tahoe, that's what Oregon did to win it, was their speed. They did it the year before that. My understanding is that's how they played most of the year last year. They have always had a quick, fast team. Right now, Eastern's matching them.
And the Ducks with it again, back up to the blue line where Florko chops it in. That young man had an impressive showing in his first game in an Eagle uniform last week against the Cougars. Went 1 goal, 1 assist, 1 penalty. It's the ACHA equivalent of a Gordie Howe hat trick.
Well, Florko definitely likes to throw the body. There's no doubt watching him. He hit him again right now. He paid back the Oregon player that hit him before. He got him back on that one, but he likes the body.
And a massive couple of saves there by Spencer Burton, who's still on his back end. And finally, the play blown dead, but Burton, a couple of point-blank saves there, and including one on his backside. I'm not even sure how he saw that one coming up over his pads, but was able to get just enough of it. And finally, a whistle blows, and with 8:37 to play in this first period, we'll have another stoppage.
Well, Lars Crow and Florko were going at it pretty heavily down there, and I think Florko just, wanted to let him know, like, no, I did not appreciate that one bang, and I will hit you back. And that kid does like to use his body, when I could see last week. That'll be a major asset for EW. You got some heavy hitters now for Eastern, which is nice to see.
And another big save there by Spencer as Burton run over after that play. A couple of players coming together in front of him, but his 8th save of the night just 11 and a half minutes into the game.
Yeah, if you look at some of the D-men, Wyatt Matthews, Florko, Porco, they do like to throw their body around quite a bit. Dinwiddie's doing that more now too, so that's going to be a force to get by for Oregon.
And Oregon typically plays, as we mentioned, more of a finesse game. So it looks like Eastern's strategy kind of knocked them off of what they're used to by throwing the body around. Oregon's not afraid to throw the body or afraid to score goals, as it seems, as they're able to find the back of the net there. A pretty well orchestrated play with 8:12 left in the first.
It was, and I'm not sure who got the goal from Oregon, because I was watching Burton, and what he did was he was in deep, and he saw that the Oregon player was going to be all by himself, and he tried to come out and poke check the puck, and the guy did a nice job of doing a nice little backhand to get the point in for the Ducks.
And now with it along the left side, there goes Rendell. Puck back out front, and they're definitely making Burton work in this contest. Not just the saves that come right to him, but he's having to guard that crease, 6 inches to a foot out in front of him.
Well, what Oregon's doing a nice job of, and they're mirroring what Eastern's trying to do, is they're just putting relentless pressure on the offensive zone, and they're getting a lot of opportunities. What Eastern just needs to do is just settle down, play their game, and not chase the puck, and they'll be fine. It's only 1-0, and the way Burton's been playing, he doesn't give up a lot of goals.
The battle for the puck now on the far side. The Ducks taking a 1-0 lead here in this first period. Still lots of hockey to play, but the Ducks really controlling the momentum so far in this young contest. Puck up the far side through the neutral zone. Knocked away right at the front of the Ducks bench, but finally across the blue line. But in control of an Oregon Duck. The Eagles still looking to maintain that possession. Chopped down along the wall by Best. And back with the Ducks in their own end again, trying to set up some passes to get themselves out of the end. Now across the blue line. Pass out into the center as they're knocked off of the puck. This one pushed just a little bit too far ahead of Wyatt Stevenson. Now with the puck on the right side is Fowler. He's going to try and get the shot off. Can't get it any further than the Ducks' shin pads in front of him. Now back down into the corner. Taken away by Eastern Washington. Fowler waiting for that puck out front. Shot taken, rebound, but bounces out to the far corner. And now all the way down the ice. And that'll be an icing with 6:15 to go. Action heads back down towards Peterson's net for the Oregon Ducks.
I'll tell you one thing. Peterson did one outstanding job on a shot, and if you weren't really paying attention, you'd miss it. But I think it was Kaiser was in on top of him, and he got the puck on him. And Peterson did a nice job of just putting his blade of his stick down and hit that and cleared it out of the way, but really a heads-up play by him.
So battle for the puck in the far corner. Fighting for it for Eastern Washington was Hunt. And it looks like that might have gotten him in trouble. Maybe not. Looks like the puck just ended up out of play or unplayable here. So we'll have a face-off coming stick side of Roddy Peterson for the Ducks. Hunt in the circle for the Eagles. Looking to make that move just a step too early. So he's going to get tossed out. In comes Stevenson. Eastern very heavy with this forecheck pressure. Lots of defense being played in the offensive zone for them.
Well, they're playing their style of game that's worked really well the last 5 games. There's no reason to change that. And I don't know if Oregon was prepared for that. I don't know if they thought Eastern was like before. But the speed is definitely basically compounding some issues for Oregon right now, especially in the neutral zone.
And snatching that out of the air, trying to get it turned around was Cheney. Now Smith with it, trying to get it out into the neutral zone, but there to stop him in his tracks was Fix for the Ducks. Fix able to get it away from Smith, but only as far as back out into the neutral zone. And another scrum in the net with Spencer Burton at the bottom of it. And that's not what you want to see if you're an Eastern Washington fan.
No, I think what happened was Burton had it smothered, and they thought the ref was going to blow the whistle. They did, and the Oregon Duck guy just started to hammer on him, and I think it was Dinwiddie that took exception to it and let the Duck know that he didn't appreciate him beating on his goaltender. Well, that could have been Williamson, but somebody from Eastern definitely took offense to it and let him know not to do it again. But one thing I'm noticing in this game right now, there's a lot of aggressiveness on both teams, especially behind the play. They're getting a few extra jabs in there that I didn't see before when these two squads played.
And now some pushing and shoving in the corner. Eastern Washington trying to get another chance on offense. Still unable to maintain possession of this puck. They're getting a pass or two in the offensive zone and then turning it over, and the Ducks are sending it back down the ice, and it makes it real tough to build up that momentum.
Unless they're going to shift to a dump and chase game, which would be fine if Eastern decides to chase on it, because they could utilize some of their speed doing that route.
So, and an update on that Oregon goal. That goal scored by Fortney, with the assists going to Rendell and Well, it says number 19, but they don't have a number 19 on the score sheet for Oregon tonight.
23 Oregon, 2 minutes holding.
Well, I'm glad you picked that up because I was looking for him and I could not see the 1-9 on my shirt, so I wasn't going to say anything. I was going to let it go. I was like, I don't know who it is, but.
So Eastern Washington, another chance here on the power play as a duck sent to the box for holding. The Eagles, their second chance with the man advantage here, weren't able to make much of it in the first period or in the first power play. But now an opportunity to level this score. Pass across the zone, not able to handle it. Now back up to the captain, Porco. Porco down along the low wall, takes a shot wide of the net. That was Stevenson, I believe. So this one carried across the line by Hunt. He's going to try and make one-man miss. Gets it out front. Stevenson trying to poke that one home. Can't get there. Now back up top. Good defense by Oregon, able to break that up. And this one all the way back to Burton. 1 minute left on the power play. Just over 2.5 to play in the first period. The Ducks doing a good job frustrating Eastern Washington, not allowing them to get out of their own end. Kaiser finally gets it into the neutral zone before it's poked away by Strategos.
We got to tip your hat to Oregon on that one. They're doing a 1-1-2 zone, and they're picking up the person that's closest to the puck in the neutral zone, and Eastern's having trouble getting out of that.
Well, there's another example of it there. Smith tried to bring it across, able to fight for the puck all the way down into the corner, but essentially this is going to do a good portion of killing off the rest of that penalty. As exiting the box here in just a few seconds comes Pultz. Eastern with one more rush down the ice. Matthews on the right side, tries to feed it out front, and the Eagle up front can't get his stick to the puck. The Ducks back to five-a-side hockey. And now Flood has a man on his back. Slowly turns that around. And I'm not sure what the stoppage is here for.
17 Eastern, 2 minutes interference.
Well, there it is. Florco going to take a 2-minute break for interference. 18:44 into this period, so if everything goes according to plan for Eastern Washington, they'll start the second period down a man for the first 48 seconds, but first they're going to have to kill off the next minute 22 of their second penalty of the night.
I noticed the training staff from Eastern's going over to the Oregon's bench. I don't see who's injured, but they're definitely looking at a player right now. Right now, I tell you, both teams are been extremely fast. They're staying in that style of play, and it's working for both teams. It's 1-0 the Ducks' favor, but right now Eastern's doing a really nice job of running some interference, especially in the neutral zone, that's slowing Oregon down a bit, and it's been working for them well. They just need to get that break and get a puck behind Peterson.
Well, first order of business here, kill off this penalty, as the Ducks have been pretty well controlling this contest. And this will be a good chance for Eastern Washington to kind of slow that momentum if they can come away with a penalty kill here in the final stages of this first period.
Yeah, there's no question about that. Right now they got Kaiser and Brendan Stevenson out there at the front line, and Porco and Dinwiddie as the two D-men for this penalty kill. And
having Reed Kaiser on the penalty kill is a very interesting move by the Eagles just because he's such an offensive player. He definitely likes to throw his body around, but you typically don't see that in the defensive zone for him, so it almost feels like the Eagles looking for potentially to head the other direction, but the Ducks shut the door on that as they're able to find the back of the net in the final minute of this period.
That was an outstanding play by Oregon. It was a bam, tape to tape. Nothing Burton could do on that one. They just had two people down low, and an East D-man went toward him, and he did a nice job of getting the puck by his stick, and it was an open net. Tip your hat off to Oregon for that play. Now it'll be interesting. This is the time Eastern's going to have to respond because their style is matching really well with Oregon. The first goal, I thought that was kind of a little fluky. The second goal was really an excellent play by Oregon. Eastern's got to respond here on the next goal.
Well, if you're Eastern Washington, are you pushing really hard for this final minute, or are you trying to get back to the locker room and regroup?
I would push.
And that seems to be what they're doing with all 5 skaters in the Oregon zone, at least for the moment. Now here come the Ducks the other direction. Across the blue line goes Strategos. He's got it knocked away. Ducks have to regroup back in their own end. Final 30 seconds of the period. Back on the stick of Voiles. And now with 15 seconds left, Eastern looking for that stretch pass again. At least that's what it looked like, but no connection there as the puck's going to be out into the center of the neutral zone, and the Ducks looking to just hold on to this one and head to the locker room up 2-0, and that's where we're going to end the first 20 minutes of this contest. The Oregon Ducks coming out shooting with 2 goals in that opening period, one even strength at 11:48 from Kurt Fortney, and then the second goal scored with under a minute left by Jordan Desrosiers with the assist to Charnholm. So we'll step away for the next 18 minutes, and we will be back with the second period of action between the Eagles and the Ducks. You're watching Eastern Washington University Hockey. Friends and family, welcome back to the Eastern Washington University Recreation Center, where we've got the second period of action coming your way between the Oregon Ducks and the Eastern Washington University Eagles. Heading into this second period after the Ducks able to find 2 goals in that first period, one even-strength goal off of the stick of Kurt Fortney, and then a power play goal with under a minute left. But it is time for these two teams to battle for another 20 minutes. Gary, what can we expect in this second period?
I would say both teams just do what they've been doing. Like I said in the first period, one of the goals by the Ducks was a little iffy. The second goal was outstanding. Eastern really doesn't have to change anything. They just may have to block the vision of Peterson a little bit more in net, but they're playing a good game. It's a toss-up right now.
Well, the Ducks maintained control of the puck for most of that first 20-minute period. But this second frame in this building seems to be where we see the most goals throughout any contest that we've seen in this game, especially if players end up in the box as we move through this second period.
Well, it's interesting what you were saying about the Ducks had most of the control. The only thing I could see Eastern was doing a bit was they were getting too close to each other in their zone, and that was made them look like they were running around, which made it look like the Ducks were really controlling it. If they stay spread out, they'll be in good shape.
Shot there from the top of the zone, deflected away out into the corner. And the Eagles going to have a chance to possibly maintain possession, bring it down the ice. That one, a push-ahead pass to Flood, but it's deflected off the stick of a Duck. And with the puck in the corner there is Charnholm. He's going to send it around the end. Near side now to pick it up is Baird. Little loft pass there into the neutral zone. Pushed ahead into the far corner. Now back around the goal. An easy pass behind the net, and Eastern Washington not able to get it out of their own zone. This puck right out front, and a big post-to-post move there by Burton for Eastern Washington. And good defense there by the Ducks. An odd angle shot from the far side, held on to by Roddy Peterson, the man between the pipes for the Ducks. Oregon out shooting Eastern Washington 16-9, something we haven't seen in this building a whole lot this year, Gary, and we haven't seen it since the first University of Washington game against the Eagles.
Well, and again, I think what's happening is that Eastern will bunch up a bit more, and that's what's really helping Oregon get the shots off. I think what another thing Eastern may want to try to do is use the body a little bit more, slow down the Ducks just a hair, and then see if they can trigger off an offensive attack off of that. Start hitting them a little bit more. That might slow them down.
Well, for me, the biggest thing for the Eagles here is that they need to be the ones to get the next goal. If Oregon finds the back of the net first, then Eastern's going to have quite an uphill battle. But if the Eagles can get the next goal, this is a wide-open game between these two teams.
And I think you hit it right on the head, and we kind of talked about that in the first period. Eastern's got to respond now with a score, because it's going to be real tough if they fall down 3-0 on this one. So this next goal, especially for Eastern, is huge as far as momentum.
And the Eagles with it. Kaiser sees a man down the ice, tries to get it to him all the way on the far side, just a little bit too far. And that shot deflected back into the glass. And Stevenson looks at that one as it goes past to Florco. Florco going to keep it in, send it down into the corner, and now some battle on the far side for the puck. Rimmed back around to the near side, 17 minutes to play into this second period. And that'll be an icing as that's sent back behind Burton's goal. He had his white glove up into the air.
But again, Eastern's doing a really nice job of matching Oregon's speed. The only time they get in trouble when they bunch up a little bit. If they stop that and get the next goal, they're definitely in this game. It's just that they just got to clean up a little bit in the defensive zone on their bunching.
Florco's got it on the left side. He tries to feed it down the wall. That one out to Fowler. A swing and a miss there on top of the face-off dot. And now a chance for Oregon to head the other direction as it's knocked away. And one again back into the corner. Pass right out front. It landed right on the stick of Marr, and he got that shot off pretty quickly. Another bouncing puck out front. It's going to bounce all the way out into the neutral zone. The Ducks there to pick it up. Turning his back to the offensive player was Voiles. And that was a bang-bang play there by the Ducks. They earned that one. I believe it might have been Rendell that was able to net that one for the Ducks. But as it stands, Oregon now up 3-0 over Eastern Washington. The Eagles have a mighty hill to climb here as this game ticks towards its halfway point.
They did. What Oregon did really well on that play. They went in a 2-1-2 going in the attack, and they got two guys free, and there was nothing Burton could do on that one. That was just nice, a bam-bam play.
And the Ducks are setting this up really nicely, something that you can tell they've drawn up in practice, bringing the puck down the right side, waiting for that man to be on the back door and sliding it right across the top of the crease, putting it far enough out that Burton can't get to it, but right on the tape of their player, and they're able to slot it home.
Well, they're trying to catch Eastern sleeping a little bit, and that worked on that last play for them. And you got to give credit to the Ducks. They're an awfully good hockey team. You can see that. But right now, I'm interested to see, as long as the Eagles don't revert back to going in a shell, they'll still be in this game. But that next goal is even bigger than the third one that the Ducks got, because Eastern's got to generate some offense to stay in this game.
And that goal scored by Charlie Marr for the Ducks. But I think you're spot on. Burton caught a little bit out of his element there.
These just got to settle down and make sure they space themselves out like they have been doing the past couple of weeks and get themselves back into this. Because you can see they're real close to getting a long breakout pass, and they're working on that heavily tonight. They just haven't hit yet with it, but they got to stay the course and just do what they can do well and use their speed and aggressiveness.
Now the Ducks with it down in the corner, trying to get another offensive push here, but Eastern Washington picking up the puck, sending it around to the far side.
But there's no doubt Oregon definitely has a strong hockey club again this year.
Absolutely, and this is a team that there's been some rumors of them making a jump, another backdoor opportunity there, of them making a jump to Division I ACHA. I believe this year they're kind of splitting their schedule between D2 and D1 ACHA play, and you can really see why. As you said, a very talented club here for Oregon, a very well-ran club. Coach Riley on the bench really has the club put together.
Oh, he does. You just look at some of their players like Baird, Garrity, Kearns, Mayer. They're just real fast. They don't let up. But Eastern's doing a nice job of slowing them down. They just got to figure out how to get past Peterson.
Bouncing puck right at the blue line, held in by the stick of Slayton. Slayton again with it, pins it against the wall, sends it down to his own man. This puck out front, just out of the reach of Baird. And back into the neutral zone. Good move by Kaiser, having to work his whole body to get around that man, and that's going to send Kaiser to the box. A follow-up hit there, as I think the player was kind of falling to the ice, and Kaiser had already made up his mind that he was going to hit the player. I didn't see who it was that ended up down on the ice.
Now we got a problem.
Yeah, Kaiser taken out there as he was down a little bit lower. We'll see if this ends up in any other penalties. But Kaiser was on his way to the box. That one didn't look good for Reed, though. As you can see the trainer coming in there.
Porco being the captain, he definitely took exception to it and ran him, the Oregon player, which I'd expect out of that. That was a wicked hit. He just blindsided him on that one, and I'm not sure what the referee is going to do with that one, but that was That was a pretty blatant blindside on that one, and it was high also. So it'll be interesting what they call.
And Kaiser looked like he was already kind of down a little bit lower.
Well, he was, because what he tried to do is he tried to go up underneath the defenseman, and the other player from Oregon came in and clocked him. So you're all right. He was already a little bit low, but the other guy came in and went up on him pretty high.
It looks like they're going to send an Oregon player to the box here. I can't tell who that is in the box. But it looks like it might be matching minors here. And we'll see some 4-on-4.
Yeah, I definitely think they're going to get the Oregon player that hit Kaiser at the end. And they gave Porco a penalty also, but that one the coach wouldn't be mad at. I mean, you got to stick up for your players like that one. I tip my cap to Porco because he wasn't going to put up with it. And that sends a little message to Oregon also. It's like, no, we're not going to do this, or we're going to get you back on it. So it was a good, even though it's a penalty, but it was still a good penalty by Joey Porco.
Well, and this is one of those times, Gary, that at this level, you can't fight. It's an automatic game misconduct. You miss the next game. I'm sorry, a game DQ and you miss the next game. But that's about as close to sticking up for your player as you can get at this level. And that's a good way to get the crowd back into this as well. Obviously, you don't want to have to stand up for your guy like that. But if you do, that is one way to build momentum for your team.
I don't really watching Porco on that play. I don't think he really cared if he had to go or not.
He most definitely did not.
He wanted to definitely let that person know, like, no, I'm not putting up with this at all. And he took a nice run at him. So I don't know if that was in his mind or not at that particular time.
I'm not sure that he was thinking that clearly in that moment.
I want to know where our fun fact guy is. Where's he at tonight? He was out there selling all these funnies last week, and I don't know where he's at.
Oh, we used them all up last week. Had to fill some of that extra airspace.
Yeah, he does have a lot of air, doesn't he? Wow. But I'll tell you one kid, I picked it up watching last week, is Florco. I'm extremely impressed with that kid. He's got a lot of skating ability. He definitely likes to hit people, and he stick handles really well. And so he's a major asset for them coming in. And I think they're going to remove the Oregon player.
Can you see that number, Gary?
It's Liam Baird that's going off the ice. I think that they're gonna have him. Well, there goes.
Is that Porco as well?
No, that's Kaiser.
That's a tough loss for Eastern Washington.
But I'm not sure why they're bouncing Kaiser.
My guess would be head contact at the way that that hit was.
That'll be a fascinating call because I have no idea. I know Kaiser's going in for a penalty, but at that time it just seemed like a minor one, and then I don't know why they removed him.
But if you're Eastern Washington, that's not what you want to see. Your leading scorer heading to the locker room with 33 minutes left in the game.
Well,
especially
Porco's
not down by 3.
Porco's getting 4 minutes. Kaiser got 2, and I don't know yet if he was removed from the game. 7 got a 5-minute, and I think he probably has got a game, would be my guess. Totally speculation on my part, but there's no reason to remove him from the ice with a 5-minute penalty, and there's 13 minutes left. So I think they are going to give him a game, would be my guess right now.
So this will be interesting to see how this shakes out, and looks like they're sending Cordes to the box to fill in for Kaiser. But it'll be interesting to see how this shakes out. By my math, looks like Eastern will get will be on the penalty kill for 1 minute.
But
before we see 4-on-4.
We're going off your math. Is that what you said?
That is what we said.
I'm just double checking right now. That's all. I'll add it up here. Just give me a second.
The general manager put out a bounty last week. If you send in a calculator to help us out with these, you get free season tickets for the rest of this year and next year. That address 119 EWU URC, care of Travis Allen, Cheaty, Washington 99004. And as you can see, we definitely need it. So it looks like Eastern on the 4-on-3 penalty kill here, down by 3 goals. Definitely looking to get back, get into that goal column tonight and get their scoring started. But this isn't how you're going to be able to do it. Now with the puck is Voiles. He's got it on the right side. He's going to carry it down. Easy pass back behind him to Rendell. Now over to the far side. Back to Rendell. One-timer into the legs of the Eagle player in front of him.
That was Mr. Best, who loves blocking shots. Like I mentioned before, the guy just likes blocking them. That takes a special mentality to do that.
Pult's going to take it back behind his own net now. Bring it up to his own man on the right side. Back to Pultz. He's going to carry it along the far side. Stops, now back up towards the blue line. Near side, deflected up into the netting. So to correct my math there, we'll see 2 minutes of this 4-on-3 into the glove of Spencer Burton. We'll see 2 minutes of this 4-on-3. Then we'll see 2 minutes of 4-on-4, and then Eastern Washington will get 1 minute of 5-on-4 for that remaining minute of the major penalty assessed to Liam Baird.
Look at you with all that math capabilities right there off the top of your head. Very impressive.
It only took me a couple of tries.
That was an outstanding stop by Spencer Burton, too, because that was a point-blank shot from the top of the slot. Nice job by him.
That was one of those quick baseball catcher reflex moves with the glove. Now 30 seconds left.
We were talking how you were wondering why they had Kaiser on the penalty kill that time. I think when they wanted to use his speed, they were looking for a breakout, and I think that's why they had him out there, because he's always looking to go. And with his speed, I think they were hoping to catch a long ice pass on that one, and that would have been really effective. They just didn't have the opportunity, but I think that's why he was out there.
Yeah, that would have been my guess as well, is looking to turn something the other way, especially against a team as fast as the Ducks. Eastern Washington now back to even strength hockey as we go 4-on-4 for 2 minutes here before Eastern going to get a 1 minute power play opportunity. Lots of open ice out there for these two teams. Burton having to watch the puck behind him. This one back up top to Slayton. He's going to go across the blue line to his D partner. Now a bouncing puck out into the center of the zone. Finally finds the stick of a Duck. Squirts out past Burton. Now onto the far side with it. Carrying it behind the net. Go the Ducks looking for somebody out front. Nobody home. Eastern takes that puck away. Looking to go down the ice now, as we said, even strength for the next minute 20. And that'll be an icing call with 10:33 left to play. The Eagles only 11 shots on goal so far tonight. That is a vast difference from the 55 shots that they got on goal against Washington State last Friday night.
Well, I think that comes to Oregon's speed. I mean, I think they're doing a nice job of mucking up the neutral zone and not allowing Eastern to get out. But I wouldn't change if I was Eastern. Sooner or later, they're going to get that one pass and it's going to spring out the player. I would keep doing what they're doing. They're still in this hockey game.
A chance here with some speed on the ice for Eastern Washington, as losing his edge there was Thompson. Knocked a little off balance and ended up in the wall. That'll be a stoppage with 1:05 left on Joey Porco's double minor penalty. 10:19 left in the period.
I think Austin Pultz is the one that kind of helped Williamson go backwards on that one. He laid a nice body check.
Here we go. Puck, stick side of Peterson. Back to the stick of an Eastern Washington Eagle. That was Dinwoody who sent it in and around. But the Ducks with the rubber again, and now Eastern Washington maintaining possession. Up across the blue line. A 3-on-2 rush if they want it. Matthews thinks about the shot. He's got Dinwiddie on the back door. Can't get it to him. Smith out front. Bouncing puck in the crease and sitting down on top of it is Roddy Peterson. Chance there for Eastern Washington with numbers. And as you said, it just takes one or two of those to get them right back in this game. And that was a good example of what's possible.
Well, you saw that Eastern opened up on their speed and they attacked really well. Peterson's just been a force for Oregon right now. He's a tough goaltender. But that's what I'm talking about. If Eastern keeps doing that puck will go in sometime tonight.
Backhanded puck into the crowd, taken away by the Ducks. This one off of the wall, pushed ahead, skating backwards, I believe was Rendell. Matthews takes it away. And now Rendell with it across the Eastern Washington blue line. A nifty backhand pass to Fix. Lays it off for him, takes a shot off the glass, and now the Eagles again heading the other direction with speed. Shot from the right side off of the glass behind the net, and that one's going to bounce all the way back down the ice where Rendell picks it up. He's alone with Burton, who goes left post to right post and stops him clean in the crease. That was a heck of a shot. I didn't see who it was by Eastern Washington, but that bounced off of the glass all the way back out to Eastern Washington's blue line, and Rendell there to pick it up and take a couple steps towards Burton. But Spencer Burton doing a good job in between the pipes there.
Oh, he did an outstanding job. Brent Dill did a nice job of angling when he picked up the puck on the blue line, and he got the space away from EWU's defender, but Burton tracked it really well, made two nice saves on there. Burton's keeping him in the game. Eastern just has got to get that next goal, and I think the momentum will shift to them because right now they're playing an even game with Oregon.
Well, in just a few seconds here away from having a shortened 5-on-4 power play. An odd pass there right through the crease by Eastern Washington. A turnover, and Burton handling that one. This one through the neutral zone. Eastern Washington back to full strength. 45 seconds left on this power play for the Eagles. 0 for 2 so far tonight with the man advantage. Florco takes it back behind his own net, looking to set something up. Finally gaining the neutral zone are the Eagles. That one off the skate of Stevenson. Kicked ahead, 20 seconds left on the power play now. Shot taken right off of the stick of the Eagle on the far side, and now a 3-on-2 opportunity for the Ducks if they choose to take it, and instead they're just going to slow it down and look to kill off the rest of this penalty. That one up into the corner. Ducks back to full strength now. Florco looks to push it ahead. That one just tipped into the corner as Fix gives chase. Fix behind his own netminder, Peterson. Couple of Eagles giving pressure there, but the Ducks very casually just bringing this up the ice. Not in any rush at all, which is not a surprise with a 3-0 lead right now. Smith with defense there in the neutral zone.
Well, we got a hook coming up, but I'm not sure on who.
And maybe a late call on Smith. Which is interesting because the Eagles touched the puck after that exchange. Actually possessed the puck for a moment. And then now they're going to come back and get Smith with that. So the Eagles back on the penalty kill.
In Oregon's Peterson didn't leave his net, so I was kind of with you. It's like, who were they calling it on? Definitely Smith is in the box.
So the Eagles on the penalty kill again. Killed off their last kind of odd power play with the entire sequence with Kaiser, Porco, and Baird. But gave up a goal late in the first period on the power play. So the Eagles having a chance here again to try and swing that momentum back in their direction. Nothing's worked for them so far tonight to get that momentum, but it only takes a couple of maybe offensive rushes here or a big stop on the power play, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen as the Ducks make quick work of the man advantage.
Well, Burton made the initial save. He did a really nice job of stretching himself out, and he kicked the puck out unfortunately went into the slot, and the EWU defense couldn't clear it out. But it was a nice initial save by Burden. Now Eastern has their work cut out for them, and they may want to start looking at doing a dump chase game. Because what you mentioned earlier, that it looked like Oregon was methodical and taking their time. What Eastern did, they went into a 1-1-2, 1-1-3 zone on them, and it really slowed down the Ducks and couldn't get out of it. So that helps, but then unfortunately they go on the power play and Eastern gives up a goal.
So now the Eagles trail 4-0 with their leading scorer, number 6 scorer in the country, in the locker room for what we assume is the remainder of this contest. And Mitch Hunt from the blue line bangs that one off of the iron. It's the closest Eastern's come to finding the back of the net, just inches away, and that really could have changed the tune of this game. 4 goals, not an insurmountable lead, but Eastern Washington going to have to start making noise here pretty quickly.
Yeah, they're going to have to take some chances now, try to shake up Peterson in net.
And that one, a big save by Burton. A 3-on-1 opportunity essentially for Oregon, and the Ducks holding on to that for just a second too long, giving Burton a chance to read that and shut the door.
But it is interesting, and it's enjoyable watching Oregon because they got such a strong offensive attack. Just watching the tape passes on that one was really a pretty sight. But Burt's, he stood his ground, got the puck, stopped it.
And that last Oregon goal coming at the 12:45 mark from Austin Charnholm. The puck definitely spending more time in the Oregon zone in this second period than we saw in the first, but Eastern still not able to find the back of the net. The Ducks with that 4th goal just a few moments ago.
Well, that's why the score is misleading. You think Oregon's dominating, they're really not. Eastern just hasn't got that one break to get the puck in the net. Besides that, the game's been pretty even though it's 4-0 right now for Oregon.
And some more pushing and shoving down there in the corner. 2 Eagles, 2 Ducks. White jerseys come away with that one. And that looks like it'll be an interference call, I would guess. As I think that was Stevenson, was just kind of knocked off the puck at the blue line.
Thompson took exception of what Pulse did, which I really didn't see him, but Thompson's definitely irritated with him, and he let him know it right after that whistle blew. Tyler, did you get a final on what they gave Kaiser and the Oregon player? Did they boot both of them out of the game?
Let me...
Because I'm real curious on what they got with Kaiser, because again, he had the initial 2-minute.
So they gave Kaiser a 2 for a check from behind and a game misconduct, and they gave Porco 2 for unsportsmanlike and 2 for a rough.
What about the Oregon player? Did he get a game also?
I did not see that piece. Give me just a second. Let me see if I can hear something.
Now, Lars Cranes is in the box for Oregon, so here's a golden opportunity for Eastern to get back in this.
Eagles on the power play again, as you said, as Crone's in the box. I believe that was for the elbow at the blue line.
If Oregon, if Eags can get a goal right now, that's really what they're looking for. Chip away at this. 4-1 lead would be a lot better for them going into third period than a 4-0.
And Baird was assessed a game misconduct for head contact. So that's why he was sent to the locker room. Now Eastern Washington through the neutral zone goes Porco. Lays it off to his man on the far side, looking for somebody down low, and instead there to pick it up is Peterson. A couple of Eagles there to screen the goaltender, but he saw that one coming, and with 1:13 left on the elbowing minor to Crows, we will have another face-off coming in the Oregon defensive zone.
I do like seeing that out of Eastern. They're going to have to block Peterson's vision because the kid's on top of his game tonight. But if he keeps sending two people in and blocking his vision, that puck will go in.
Well, we saw it a little bit over the last couple of weekends. That tip-in goal really works well for Eastern Washington when they get those big bodies like Dinwiddie and Stevenson out in front of the net to not just block the eyes of the netminder, but also, move some of the defenders out of the way and redirect that puck.
Yeah, there's no question about that. You could even move Floko in or Matthews in because they're big fellas just to get the disrupt the view of Peterson in net. Because right now they have Matthews and Floko as a defensive pairing, so you could cheat and put one of them in tight on the netminder, see if they can shake them up that way.
And the Ducks looking for a penalty there as Eastern Washington took that puck away. The entire bench standing up. But no love there for the Ducks as Eastern Washington maintaining this man advantage for a few more seconds here. Matthews has that one taken off of his stick. Back off of the wall. He's got to get there. Some bulldogged tenacity there from Rendell, who just was not letting Eastern Washington get out of the zone easily and build up. Back to five-a-side hockey, but the Eagles with possession in the attacking zone. This one's going to go out into the neutral zone. Now a 2-on-2 rush for the Ducks. With the puck is Gagin. He had that one turned aside, and that one up into the netting now.
Well, Randall's so strong on his skates, he's hard to move off of that. The kid is real sturdy, and he's quick. Of course, all the Ducks are quick. There's no question about that. They count on their speed quite a bit. It's just Eastern needs that next goal, really, because they're playing a good game. It's just not – the Pucks just can't find the back of the net right now for them.
Well, still lots of time left, 23 minutes on the game clock, plus a 20-minute break.
Well, and that's why I was saying it'd be really helpful for Eastern to get a goal this period, even though it's only one. It still would help them with their mindset and the momentum going into that third period.
Only 18 shots on net for Eastern Washington so far. Here comes across the blue line again Slayton. He's got two more white jerseys. Hanging out front was Rendell. The one thing that I've noticed about Oregon so far tonight, on top of their speed, is that they've got some very good stick work. Just about every player out there on the ice has the ability to beat a player or two just with their stick.
Yeah. They got really, really strong capabilities handling the puck. All their front line players do. But I think one thing Oregon's doing really well, nice stop by Spencer Burton on that one, is rather than a 2-1-2 most players teams will do in their zone, they're doing a 2-3 zone, and that's kind of creating some havoc for Eastern, especially in front of Peterson in the net. Big save by Burton again. We got a penalty coming up. It's a high stick, and I think it's going to go on Smith.
So that is who that is. So Shane Smith going to pick up another penalty in this second period. His second consecutive penalty for the Eagles.
But we got to give Oregon a ton of credit. I mean, that's one adjustment they did with that, going to a 2-3 zone and rather than 2-1-2 most teams will do. That was a nice adjustment by them in between after the first period. And there's another penalty coming on the Eagles, it looks like.
And I think that's what's happening. Eastern Washington looking a little bit frustrated here late in the second period, and that's leading to some boneheaded mistakes, sending some guys to sin bin when really they need to be finding the back of the net.
Yeah, and that was going to be an interference against Hunt on that one. And I'm seeing some of these penalties Eastern's doing now. I think you hit it right on the head. They're getting real frustrated because some of these penalties are just out of frustration and actually a little bit of anger. They can't quite figure out how to bust it.
29 right for interference.
So now Eagles on their second 5-on-3 penalty kill of the contest. This one going to be a little bit tougher to kill off as I guess the last time it was a 4-on-3. But with as much as easily it seems like as the Ducks move this puck around on the power play, it's going to be real tough for Eastern Washington unless they're able to clear this. They've really got to maintain kind of that triangle shape that they've got and not allow any of these easy shots from in the slot or really inside of the face-off circles.
And Oregon does a nice job of cycling the puck. They're constantly in motion. You rarely see a player hold on to the puck that much. 5-on-3 is going to be a tough kill for Eastern.
Well, and the good news for Eastern Washington is if they can hold on to it for another 30 seconds, that they'll have a little bit of a break in this and come back out, and they'll have to start the third period down 5-on-3 if they can hold on to this, a wraparound attempt there. But that's definitely better than trying to work a 5-on-3 to its entirety for 2 full minutes. And now a chance for Eastern heading the other way with some speed goes Stevenson. He takes that shot, and it's easily handled by Peterson. And that one to Burton, and he's going to slap that one away as the penalty expires. The Oregon Ducks adding 2 more in that second period. The Eagles having some penalty trouble. They'll start the third period on the 5-on-3 for 27 seconds, and then a 5-on-4 for 13 seconds after that. We'll be back with the conclusion of this game between the Eagles and the Ducks. You're watching Eastern Washington University men's hockey. Friends and family, welcome back to the Eastern Washington University Recreation Center for the third period of PAC8 action between the hometown Eastern Washington Eagles and the visiting University of Oregon Ducks. So far in this one, it's been all Oregon on the scoreboard. 4 goals in this game. But Eastern Washington looking for a third period comeback. It's going to have to wait 40 seconds, though, as they're going to start this period 5-on-3. My name's Tyler Pisani, joined as always by Gary Allen. And Gary, what have you seen through the first 2 periods that the Eagles can pick up on as they head into period 3?
Well, I think what they're going to have to do, and no question about it, the way Rodney Peterson is playing, they have got to start plopping people in front of him, trying to block his vision, because the kid has just been outstanding for Oregon. But it's really misleading. Even though it's 4-0, you think, the Eastern's got to change something. If they could just disrupt Peterson's vision. Nice stop by Burton. They'll be in good shape. I wouldn't change a whole bunch for Eastern.
Well, and I think that you kind of hit the nail on the head. A couple of good breaks for Oregon as they came down the ice. A couple of miscues for Eastern Washington, sending some players to the box as they're able to officially kill off that 5-on-3. Back to full strength here coming into the zone is Hunt. The biggest struggle for Eastern Washington moving forward is going to be that they're without their leading scorer, Reed Kaiser, as he was sent to the locker room for a check from behind in that second period. So the Eagles going to have to work and get on the board here without the man that's been responsible for, or at least had a part in, a majority of their points so far this season.
Oh, there's no question that hurts Eastern's offensive production quite a bit. Plus, just the way Kaiser plays, he's a physical force out there. But you look at some of the other veterans, some of the new guys. I mean, they can do it. It's just unfortunate. Peterson just is a wall back there, and that's why they're going to have to shake him up, get his vision, make him start moving a little bit around, see if they can put the puck in the net that way. Because right now he's been just unbelievably tough for Eastern to get by.
Well, that's a good example there of him getting in the way of that puck and keeping Eastern Washington out of the back of the net.
I think what also Eastern can start doing now is start looking at, okay, let's change a little bit, see if that'll work, and start kind of zeroing in on tomorrow. Not giving up on this game, but start doing some experimenting to see what they can do to trip up Oregon. But Oregon's an awfully strong hockey team that people that are Duck fans should be really looking forward to this team. Nice stop by Burton.
And that's why this team has been so successful over the last few seasons here in the PAC8, winning the championship the last season that we played down in Lake Tahoe. Is they're such a consistent hockey team. And, everybody's familiar with Oregon Duck athletics, but it seems like that culture even falls down to their club sports programs, and you can really see the passion out there for Oregon.
Well, we were talking about it before the game started, was that Oregon's always been fast, and they are this year. They're a really solid unit. But Eastern, that's where they're different. Their speed is really helping them this year. And that's why I'm saying, even though it's 4-0, the game's closer than what that score is sounding.
So then you mentioned tomorrow night's game, 7 o'clock here at the URC, as the Ducks bring it into the attacking zone again. 7 o'clock here at the URC. If you don't have tickets, you can get them online right now at EWUEaglesHockey.com. Those tickets will be available online until noon tomorrow. If you're not able to get your tickets there, $10 at the door. Get you in to see the game. If you're an Eastern Washington student, bring your Eagle student ID, and that will get you in as well. A chance now for the Eagles in the attacking zone. A trailing run there, but covered up again by Roddy Peterson, who's been an absolute brick wall in net for the Ducks.
Well, Fowler and Wyatt Stevenson had a 2-on-1 with him, and Oregon's D-man played a really nice job. He slowly moved over, and Stevenson couldn't get the pass from Fowler. That was a nice play by the Duck.
So face-off coming now, won by Oregon. As the Ducks casually resetting with a 4-0 lead this late in the game. You expect them to slow down just a little bit, I would assume, but instead here they come on the offensive rush, down into the corner, back up in front of the Eastern Washington net. That one a hard shot off the glass behind Spencer Burton. Now Rogowski plays it down along the runner. It's going to go to the far side. Rogowski, the lone defenseman, going to skate backwards, but Eastern going to send another player to the penalty box. This time I believe it's Mitch Hunt for a trip. This penalty coming.
29 Eastern, 2 minutes tripping.
And that's what it is. Mitch Hunt, 2 minutes for tripping. So the Eagles continuing to shoot themselves in the foot here. And we haven't seen this problem as much this year, Gary, with Eastern Washington ending up in the bench. Or, I'm sorry, in the box.
No, and I was just going to mention that. This is out of character for the last 4 games. Eastern basically stopped taking penalties, and I think now a lot of those are frustration penalties. They're not moving their feet as much. They're actually kind of a lazy penalty, but I think that's because Oregon's really kind of bottled up Eastern right now. They're not sure what to do, but penalties are hurting the Eagles right now.
The Ducks always seem to find a way to get under Eastern Washington's skin, whether it's in Cheney or in Eugene. It always seems like the Eagles tend to take a few more penalties when they're playing the Ducks.
Yeah, but I got to give credit to Oregon. They're an outstanding hockey team again this year. I figured they would coming in tonight, but they seem to be quicker than they were 2 years ago, and I didn't know if that was possible. And then I don't know Peterson. I don't know what his background is, but that kid's is just a plain wall for Oregon right now. He's tough to beat.
And a big reason that they are up 4-0 is a couple of big saves that Peterson had on the backside.
He's a very impressive netminder, but so is Spencer Burton. Burton, I mean, okay, it's 4-0, but 3 of those goals were solid by Oregon, and that was just their puck movement. So you can't fault Burton on that one at all. He's played really well tonight also.
And the crowd getting into that. Eastern Washington throwing the body around. And that's how you get the crowd and Cheney into it. Some of those big hits, you could start getting the crowd behind you, and that's the first step to building some of that momentum back in your own favor.
So just Oregon's puck movement right now is outstanding. They know exactly where they're going to be. Tape-to-tape passes. This is a really solid hockey team.
Back out into the neutral zone with it go the Ducks. Holding it up along the low wall was DeRosiers. And that'll be an icing as it heads all the way back down behind the Oregon Duck net.
And that's another adjustment I've seen Oregon come out in the third period. In the neutral zone, before they tried to do a quick pass, now it's more of a control game, and it's really spreading out the ice more for them, and then they shoot a guy over the blue line. So they made another adjustment, especially in the neutral zone. But, again, you got that kind of speed. You can play around like that quite a bit.
Back out into the neutral zone. Best tips that down into the corner. Hunt out of the box, looking to be the first player there. And it looks like another delayed penalty coming against Eastern Washington. And it looks like it's going to be Hunt for a slash as he just got out of the box. He's going to head back and take a seat in there.
29 Eastern, 2 minutes slashing.
Really, this is the only part of the game Eastern that I'm a bit disappointed to, because they are accumulating quite a few penalties, and it's hurting them because they're getting their players tired. You can't keep taking this many penalties. Sooner or later, it's going to start wearing on the players that have to do the penalty kill. And down 4-0, they can't afford to keep taking these because the time's running out on them with 14:20 left in the game.
Well, and you're spot on. This is their 9th penalty of the contest. Only cost them 1 direct goal on the power play, but it's more than just that, as you're right, this team is slowing down a little bit as we get later into this game. Some tired legs out there, you would assume, having been on the ice shorthanded for so long. And typically in these shorthanded situations, it's the same players out there, and they're typically your top 1-2 line guys. So even when you're back at full strength, you don't have that ability to go 100% out there with your top 2 lines. Another big save there by Burton right at the top of the crease.
Yeah, and I don't care how good a shape you are. Sooner or later, you keep taking that many penalties, it's going to wear on you. And I know a couple of these players are in outstanding shape, but you can see that they're losing their legs right now. And you got to give credit to Oregon. They keep their pressure has been relentless so far, and they're not giving up. And you mentioned it. I don't think Oregon has a slow-down game in them. I really don't. I think they just constantly go 100 miles an hour.
Well, I think for them, that's one of the keys to their success. Even last night against Washington State, they really turned it on in the second half of the second and the third period last night. Even though they had quite a lead going into that third period, they didn't take their foot off the gas. They just kept powering, and that's how they ended up with the 8-2 scoreline.
Yeah, it's an extremely fluid offense that Oregon's doing right now, and their penalty power play is outstanding. They're just constantly moving all the time, cycling and developing the rhythm. Now they're cheating in the defense, man. They're just a great hockey team. That's all it is.
This one deflected away by Burton again. The duck down in the center of the zone was Charnholm. With it on the near side is Fortney. And diving out of his net goes Spencer Burton to hold on to that one.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You look at it, you think 4-0 must be something wrong with the net minding of Eastern, and no, there isn't. He's played a superb game. Just on that save right there, he just jumped out of his net. Spencer Burton's played really well. Peterson, he's been phenomenal. It's been a good goaltending match. It's just Eastern's getting tired, and I think it contributed that to the penalties.
Which to me says that if Eastern Washington can solve their penalty problems, that tomorrow's game may be a Game of the Year candidate in all of the ACHA, because these two teams are very evenly matched when they're both out there at full strength.
They actually truly are.
Smith with it out to Flood in front, and Flood turned away by Peterson. But there's that offensive chance that Eastern Washington needs if they're going to be successful against the Ducks, with Smith and Flood heading down the ice on the penalty kill. And we have a stoppage.
We have a penalty coming up, and I think it's going against Eastern. On a hook, it looked like. I don't know the player.
It looks like Smith again.
So you were mentioning it, Tyler, right there. Eastern, they're matching Oregon's speed. It's just they haven't had the breaks to get the puck in the net behind Peterson, because he's been a wall. And so I do think if they can get a point behind him, that would bode well for him moving forward. But Eastern's matching them. They're down 4-0, but they're actually matching them speed-wise. They just haven't shot the breaks, and Oregon's played really well.
2 minutes for unsportsmanlike.
So Smith now, a double minor penalty, as he got 2 minutes for hooking and then must have said something to the official because he got another 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike. So a 4-minute power play here for the Ducks. And if you're Eastern, that's a third of the remaining game here. That's not what you want to see. Having to be down a man, as we talked about, for most of this third period.
Well, you can't do it. You can't take these many penalties against a top-flight team like Oregon. They're just too good to keep giving them a power play opportunities. Sooner or later, they're going to get one behind the net, because they are totally relentless on their attack in Eastern. Again, their penalties wearing them down.
As we said, only one power play goal for the Ducks so far in this. Eastern Washington's defense has stood strong. They haven't given up a goal in a full 21 minutes of game time, despite being on the power or the penalty kill for most of that.
Well, that's where you got to give Eastern credit. That tells you that they're evenly matched with Oregon. It's just that they're just getting tired on these penalty kills.
And that puck up into the netting. 2:52 left on Shane Smith's double minor penalties. 11-11 conveniently on the scoreboard. Ducks still leading 4-0, out shooting the Eagles 40-21 so far. Still more than half of the third period to go. Plenty of time for the Eagles to make this game interesting.
They're definitely going to have to figure out some other attack on Peterson, because right now the way he's playing, he's going to be hard to beat. Tyler, do you know if Peterson played for him a couple years ago, or is he new this year?
He played for the Ducks in the 2019-2020 season. He had 9 appearances, a 1.88 goals against average, and a 9.34 save percentage with 1 shutout over those 9 games.
And I tell you, that kid is good. He's really good, but so is Burden. I mean, I know I keep saying it, but Eastern's matching them really well. They just seem to be missing that one break that will get the puck in for them and get their motor going a little bit. Stay out of the box, get the next goal, and we'll see what happens on that. Because really the game's a lot tighter than the 4-0 score sounds. But, man, Oregon's very impressive. I anticipated it. I did come in. I thought if they play like they do, they're going to be a tough team.
Well, and you mentioned it. Staying out of the box is going to be key to success tomorrow night to be able to take one of these PAC8 games against the Ducks. Really, splitting the series here in Cheney wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, especially against an undefeated team like the Ducks if you're Eastern Washington coming into this game 5-5. If they're able to split the series with the Ducks, that still leaves them 3-2 in conference. A positive winning percentage in the conference is definitely going to be helpful as they head down the season as they move towards Tahoe.
And that's huge. They need a split with Oregon, and then watch how the rest of the league plays out. But Oregon's going to be a force for anybody that plays them this year. They are a talented hockey team.
Well, we talked a lot about Montana State in that second weekend of the year here in Cheney, and I would love to watch a game between the Ducks and Montana State. I don't know if that's on their schedule, but I would guess at some point this year, maybe in the postseason, that those two teams will square off on the ice, and I'll definitely be tuning into that one.
That will definitely be an outstanding hockey game because both teams play a similar style.
And Eastern has played both of them now. Still plenty of time left against the Ducks, but they've played both of those teams and played them really well, but being able to watch those teams and how they play, like I said, I think that would be a fantastic game to watch.
But that bodes well with Eastern. They've actually played both Montana State and Oregon really tough. And so they're right there. They're on the cusp of it. They just need a break against these Ducks right now.
Puck out front off the glass. A big shot by Rendell, who tried to close out the penalty with a goal there. Smith, still 35 seconds left in the box on his double minor penalties. With it again is Rendell. He's going to take a couple steps towards the net. That one bounces off into the corner. Puck behind Burton, trying to track it. Finally does out into the corner. Now back behind the net again. And I believe that one went in. I'm not even sure how that one made it past Burton.
I'm not either. I thought Burton had it smothered. That was a weird bounce on that one.
It really was, and I've got it up here on the replay machine. And I'm still not sure how that one made it to the back of the net, but there it is, their second power play goal of the night for the Ducks. And they do it in pretty dramatic fashion.
Yeah, I would love to
who
see a
gets
replay
credited
on
for
that. Because if you're watching the replay, I would like to see it because I have no idea how that puck went in.
I'm not sure that the replay gives us
assisted by number 9, Kurt Fortney.
a very clear view on how that ended up in the back of the net. I do know that Fortney got the assist.
A strange goal.
At the moment, that one, the 5th goal of the night for the Ducks. Eastern Washington just having to keep their head on straight here for the final 8 minutes. Maybe get 1 or 2 back. Make it a little bit more of a competitive game on the score sheet. And really kind of set up that the momentum heading into tomorrow. I've been talking about momentum a lot. But in these games, that's really what makes the difference. If you can hold on to that puck, especially at home here at the URC, build that crowd behind you, it's really going to help in pushing you to be a little bit more successful.
Well, it's huge, and if they get one by Peterson, then they know that he can be scored on. Right now, there's doubt in their mind, and you can see it the way they're playing. But I do like how Eastern's played tonight. They just haven't caught that one lucky bounce that would get the puck past Peterson, and that's the difference right now. And then with Oregon scoring 5 goals, they've been building up the momentum slowly throughout the game, but Eastern's giving them a good tussle right now.
Now bringing it in is Kroos. He's going to lay it off behind him. Smith with the puck, pushes it ahead to Flood. Flood on the right side, looking to pick his spot, and good defense there by Voiles, who just got his hips in the way of the stick movement there to disrupt that from Flood and not allow him to get a clean shot off. Good heads-up play by the Ducks defenseman.
Well, Voiles is an example of what I was talking about. He was beat, but he didn't stop. He just kept going, and like you said, he got his hip in the way, and that's good back checking by him. And so that's where Oregon is really strong. They just keep flooding you. They don't stop. Their forecheck and back check are outstanding, and that's really helps them, and especially when they go on the attack on the offensive zone.
And that last goal scored by Connor Rendell. So his first point of the contest. Or I'm sorry, his first goal of the contest. So we'll have a face-off coming glove side of Roddy Peterson, currently riding a shutout here at the URC.
Eastern definitely got to try to block his vision somehow, see if that will help him get that puck behind the net. Because this kid, if he sees the puck, he stops it.
Puck back behind Peterson now. As Voiles sends it off onto the far side. Eastern Washington trying to keep this in. Now back down into the corner. Out into the center. Picking it up in attacking ice was Fowler. Quickly turn that over. The Ducks again. A slow build-up from behind their own net. And as fast as they are, bouncing puck out front, a chance for Eastern Washington if they can get a stick to it, and instead he floats all the way out to the near side point where Dinwoody pushes it back down to Hunt below the goal line. And the Ducks now back out into the neutral zone. But as I was saying, with as much speed as the Ducks have, they don't typically build up from their own zone. They're very deliberate when they're next to their own goal, and as soon as they get it across that blue line is really when their speed kicks in.
Yeah, that's when they start their attack game. As soon as they hit their blue line, that's when they go for it through the neutral zone.
Dinwoody going to take that across the center stripe and then dump it all the way in. Under 6 minutes left to go here at the URC in Cheney. And I was just informed that ticket sales actually end at midnight tonight, not noon tomorrow. So tickets going on sale right now, EWUEaglesHockey.com. They'll be on sale for a little bit right after the game, but then we will close those ticket sales, and you'll be able to get them at the door tomorrow to watch these two teams at the URC, or you can come back here and join Gary and I live on the internet, and we'll talk you through the game. Frankly, I think it's more fun to hang out with us anyways, Gary.
I'll go with that one. I complete. I'm still sick, so I'm okay. So.
There you go.
One thing I am really liking what I'm seeing out of Eastern, they have not quit. And that's a big thing right now, is wondering how they would react to this being down 5-0. they're still trying out there, and that's a good sign for them because Eastern has a good hockey team. Unfortunately, they run into a buzzsaw with the Ducks today, but that doesn't mean tomorrow's going to be the same way. So it bodes well for Eastern to keep on trying, and I'm really glad I'm seeing that there's no quit in this team.
Absolutely, and we've talked about this almost every game, that this team has been improving on something game to game. And even in this loss, you mentioned it, we're not seeing them hang their heads. We're not seeing them slow to get lined up, slow to chase the puck. That is something we saw through the first 2 weekends of the year, and that's definitely been an improvement tonight.
No, they made great strides, and they're still making great strides, and I'm really looking forward to seeing Eastern play in December and January.
Well, and these are the types of games, especially this late in your season. You lose 5 in a row, then you win 5 in a row, then you come out and play a game like this. Their response tomorrow night could very well define the rest of the season. Not even necessarily a win tomorrow, but if they can come out and play a close game against the Ducks, that's really going to set them up for success as they move into their road schedule in the second half of this quarter and then get back here in January.
Yeah, Eastern has a good hockey club. Make no mistake about that. Even though they're losing today, they got a good hockey team.
And they've got a bunch of fans there, it sounds like, backing them up, which is impressive to see on a Friday night here in Cheney. No football, so just hockey out here, and the crowd into the game. They're not just there to do something. They're there because they are hockey fans, and that goes a long way when you're a club hockey team like this trying to rebound from a loss.
Yeah, there was a good little crowd here tonight, and so that was good to see that they're continually supporting the hockey club because Eastern, they're an interesting bunch. I think this is the most talented squad they've had in the last 2-3 years, and they show it. They keep getting better each game, even though right now they're losing, but they got a strong hockey team, and it'll be interesting to see what happens in about another month, 2 months when they get everybody back.
So we mentioned this after this game, Eastern Washington back at it tomorrow here at the URC taking on the Ducks, and then they head out onto the road for the road portion of their schedule in this first half of the season. Next weekend they will be at Glacier Ice Rink taking on the University of Montana Grizzlies. That's a brand new team this year. They haven't had a club hockey team in a number of years, so it's good to see a hockey alive and well out in Montana, and really great to see the rivalry between the Eags and the Grizz continue on the ice. So those will be some fun games to watch there. And then the following weekend, November 12th and 13th, the Eagles in Seattle to take in the scenery at the new Kraken Community Iceplex. That's where the Seattle Kraken practice. They'll be taking on the University of Washington there for 2 games. Remember the Huskies came here. They split the weekend series, but the Huskies winning that Friday night game, which was the league game. Same thing will happen when they travel over to Seattle. And then in December, the 10th and 11th, Eastern Washington heading down to southern Idaho to take on Boise State. And then back on the ice in 2021, taking on Arizona State at Arizona State, January 21st and 22nd. Before playing in Western, January 28th and 29th, and rounding out the season back at home against the Washington State University Cougars, February 4th and 5th. You can find that whole schedule at EWUEaglesHockey.com. The Ducks still pouring on that offense, Gary, not letting up even with 3 minutes to go, a 5-goal lead. They're looking for that 6th goal.
I truly don't believe Oregon knows how to do a slowdown game. I mean, if anything, this might be their slowdown, but they're just constantly moving. It doesn't matter if it's in their zone, the opponent's zone. They're an impressive club, but I give Eastern credit. They're still sticking into it. I think the fatigue factor got into them. I think they had, 11 penalties tonight so far. That takes its toll. Even though they've only scored 2, the Ducks on it, you can only keep up so long, and then after a while you just get too tired on it. And I think that's what happened with Eastern, especially going into that third period.
And this, it looks like a missed icing call, so they'll bring this one back out to the center dot. as to not punish Eastern Washington with the missed call. So that face-off looks like it went straight into the Oregon bench. So we'll have a quick redo here with just over 2 minutes left to go on night one in Cheney. Burton out of his goal, sends it around the wall. First player there in a red jersey, but can't get it out of the zone. Picking it up was Estrada. Puck right out front. Not able to handle that cleanly was Minchin, but had he been able to, he would have been able to pick his spot on Spencer Burton's net. And lucky for the Eagles, a little bit of trouble collecting that and sends it up into the netting.
Minchin's another player that's been all over the ice for Oregon tonight. Every time you look up, he's out there making an offensive attack.
Puck back into the neutral zone. An Eastern Washington player taken down there, and that looks like Eastern going to get their chance at a power play. It'll be interference coming with just under 2 minutes to play. So if Eastern's unable to score, the Ducks will finish this one short-handed.
I think Estrada's the one that got called for on the Ducks on the interference.
So the Eagles on the power play here, looking to get one back because, as you said, Gary, they've got that doubt in their mind that anybody can get a puck past Roddy Peterson, and as soon as they get one, that myth, that spell that he's cast will dispel, and it might change the tempo for tomorrow.
Well, right on your mind. If you can't get it by him, you got to start wondering, like, what do we have to do? So if they could pop a goal right now, that would help them.
Dangerous for Eastern Washington there is a 2-on-2 rush, and it looks like Eastern going to send a player to the box. So that's a trip there on defense. And it looks like Dinwiddie going to head to the box.
Now that penalty was just pure speed on Oregon. Dinwiddie was going to get beat, and he ended up having to trip the guy. But again, it goes back to Oregon's relentless attack, and real similar to 2 years ago squad. Very, very tough hockey team.
Well, and honestly, if you're a coach and you see that your defender is going to get beat, I'd rather take that 2-minute penalty than give him a one-on-one with my goaltender.
Yeah, no question about that. Because Oregon has some sharpshooters on their team.
Shot from the top right of the zone. Burton turns that one away. His 40th save of the night. I think that's important to talk about for Burton. He's given up 5 goals, but he's still faced 40 shots.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a tremendous amount of shots.
Burton's had an unbelievable game tonight.
A big hit on Smith behind the net. He jumps right back up after Voiles kind of spins him around behind the cage. Under a minute remaining, 4-on-4 hockey. Just a reminder, you can join us here tomorrow night, 7 o'clock at the URC. Doors open at 6. And it'll be these same 2 teams back on the ice. You can get tickets online right now at EWUEaglesHockey.com or tomorrow at the door. Both places, just $10. That one off the glass behind the net. And bounces out up into the neutral zone. Across the blue line goes Florco. The Eagles still looking for that last goal as time expires. So Eastern Washington falling in game 1 at home this weekend. 5-0 at the hands of the University of Oregon Ducks. Eastern Washington falling to 5-6 on the season, 2-2 in conference play. The Ducks move to 6-0, still undefeated this year, 4-0 in conference play. These 2 teams back at it tomorrow night here at the URC. Gary, final thoughts for everybody looking into tomorrow?
Well, one, Oregon has an outstanding hockey team, but 2, I give Eastern a lot of credit. They matched them pretty well, even though it was 5-0. That score is not indicative of how this game actually transpired. Eastern hung with them pretty well. I think the penalties hurt them. They got extremely tired on them, but I'll tell you, this Roddy
Peterson. He's got to be probably the best goaltender I've seen that Eastern's played so far, and we've seen some good netminders, but this kid was unbelievable tonight.
12 penalties on the night for Eastern Washington, just 4 for the Oregon Ducks. So as you mentioned, that's something that Eastern's going to have to correct heading into tomorrow. Looking back at it, 3 power play goals for the Ducks in this one. 3 of their 5, if you take those away, a 2-0 game changes the complexity heading in late to that third period. But that'll do it for us here tonight. For our camera gal, Ashley, everybody here at Eastern Washington Hockey, for Gary Allen, I'm Tyler Pisani saying good night, go Eags, and they'll see you at the Barrel House.